Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today we are looking at the A9G series archive droid. Now, this comes to us at least starting off from Star Wars The Saga Edition. This is their wiki page. Um, so, getting into it for their write up here on their wiki page. Still in the high success of the R2 series astromech droid, Industrial Automation sought to continue that achievement by making other droid models that perform similar functions. One line of droids to come from the many designs of that time was the AG9 series archive droid. Unlike the R2, the humanoid shaped AG9 or A9G, I'm sorry, was not intended to work aboard starships, but to act as an ideal administrator for data networks overseeing the computer systems of large corporations and governments by using its data sifting software to satisfy their organizational and managerial needs. The major flaw of the A9G design came to light after the droids placed in major corporations experienced a series of problems that made poor decisions when attempting to handle high volumes of data traffic. Companies with similar information networks had few or no problems. The droids were capable of handling the lighter flow of traffic. So, some of the things that they have listed here on their webpage. Overworked. Um, you you interested in the A9G droid here, eh? Here's one goodbye. Don't let those black markets around this neck of the woods kind of fool you there. Uh, just cosmetic, okay? It's already carbon scoring, not to fear from blaster shots. The droids get these marks from burning out processors while on the job. C A9G series droids do most of their jobs so well, their owners tend to keep them working around the clock, continually processing information in their networks. The little guys work and work without a break until, boom, their processors get fried and they shut down. But don't worry about this one. I personally refurbished the original processor. It's okay, good as new. Um, so, where do we get the droid? Well, all right. This is all fun stuff, fun flavor. Yeah, what the hell? Where do we get the droid? I picked it up from this guy. Blew through a town. Looked like a pirate. Might have been part of that band that's been hitting merchant ships in small colonies along the Hydian Ray. You know, I even heard that they took a A9G and it belonged to the royal family in Kachan on the edge of the outer rim. Supposed to have some valuable information. Sure, you'd love to find the droid they'd probably pay a nice reward for in its return. Well, enough of my rambling. Tell you what, I'll scrub off its scoring for an extra 25 credits. What do you say? Uh, a lot of what they have here listed is trying to play a A9 series archive droid and the different things that we can do. Now, just looking at it in our perspective, the history of everything else, not as a character, although it is sometimes fun to play droids. I've done this a number of times, mainly because it also takes a little extra burden off of me because I have the dumbest characters. Because I always run the games, so my characters are as dumb as a box of rocks. Whatever the crew does, that's what I follow. So playing a droid for me in the Star Wars sense works really well. I don't have to think about anything. I don't have to do any, you know, big customization to a character. Do I want to go in one way or the other? It's just whatever the group needs. So in Star Wars, it really does work good for me having a droid type character for that fact. Now, whether we want to have this as a field medic, they have a reconnaissance droid listed here, uh, having a slicer computer added on here, a lot of that stuff. And we have all the different editions on here, which this is all from the Saga edition. So that's not really going to always translate the same way in the D6 version. So let's switch on over and see what we have for our stats here and what's listed in our book. Okay, so looking at the archive droid. Again, this is from Industrial Automation. A9G series droid has a dexterity of 2D, so still our galactic standard as well as the knowledge, but bureaucracy, library science, and bureaucracy alliance information storage. The science is a 4D. The information alliance information storage is a 12D. So really, what they have here compared to what um, the Saga edition has are a little bit changed. Having a Alliance information storage of 12D, that is a very phenomenal number. Of course, then we have mechanical and perception at 1D, seeing that these are not mechanical droids, they're not going to be used for scouting details and stuff like that. Not saying you couldn't later on change it for those needs, because quite often in some of the comic books and the storylines and everything else, we see people taking droids and essentially retrofitting them to handle situations that they were never fully intended to. Let's see, we also have a strength of 1D plus 2, so a little bit below our galactic standard, which is, pretty understandable, seeing it's really for archiving information. It's not meant for lifting, it's not meant for stuff like that. Has a technical of 2D. For computer programming and repair, we do have a 5D skill set. Alliance modified model only is equipped with a uh, Karan 11 superprocessor, allowing rapid data coalition. The Cybot Galactica Data Sifter software package, which adds an additional 1D to all computer programming repair roles involving data searches. We also have humanoid body, which has the 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head. It has a movement of 9. Remember, our galactic standard is a 10, so it is slightly slower. So if you're trying to take something like this and make it into a player character, it wouldn't be the worst thing. We do have a size of 1.7 meters tall, so roughly about your standard humanoid height. This has a cost of 8,000 credits used only, and this comes from Zanbar's Fantastic Technology Droids, The Truce at Barca Sourcebook, page 134. So, unlike the Saga website, which is doing it in their terms, this is originally from West End Games, and it was, for really the Bakara source book for that campaign. And of course, then we see it kind of come up in Sinbar's Fantastic Technology. Uh, it's interesting seeing droids like this. I mean, the fact that we're getting close to stuff like this in real life is very interesting. We'll have to see where the future really goes on all this stuff. And the look is humanoidish, but not too organic to sit there, and it might offset people. But there again, it's just some of those things. As we start entering into an age where some of this science fiction stuff starts to become a little bit more realistic. So, with that being said, thank you so very much for joining me today. It's a little bit shorter video, which is perfectly fine. Um, Hopefully it's a funny droid to kind of pick up and work with. See what people either do as characters or whatever. But hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.